remember last year when Zeb Wells came out and said that what he's going to be doing in Amazing Spider-Man is going to be the most controversial thing to happen in years, and people are going to be so upset with him and everything. And everybody was speculating maybe he's going to kill off Mary Jane. Maybe he's going to kill off Spider-Man, which would probably be a mercy considering what he's been doing to him lately. Maybe Paul is going to die. We were like, yeah, that would be fantastic. But no, what ended up happening, he killed off Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, and everybody was like, why do you think anyone cares about that? I mean, like, nobody cares. I mean, Ethan Van Sciver literally celebrated online because he said from the beginning how much he dislikes Kamala Khan as a character. I don't blame him. Terrible, terrible character. But, I mean, you know, people were like, nobody really gives a damn. We all know she's going to be coming back. And in like less than a month, bam, she was back. And now she's like a mutant and an inhuman, and everybody's like, well, nobody really cares, but that's what they were doing, I guess, you know, for some reason, probably, that was it. But now, we've gotten a bit of information that's come out. From a comic book insider, or a writer at Marvel Comics, was revealed that apparently it was Kevin Feige who gave the kill order for Ms. Marvel. Yep, Kevin Feige signed the order to have her. That's what happened. Get into it and get some more information in regards to this article from Bounding into Comics. Marvel Comics writer reveals Kamala Khan was killed off in Amazing Spider-Man because MCU boss Kevin Feige wanted her character brought in line with her live-action incarnation. Now, here's the thing, yeah? They actually had to kill off Ms. Marvel in Amazing Spider-Man because right now, at the time, Ms. Marvel didn't even have a book of her own going, I believe. I could be wrong because I don't read that nonsense, but I'm just saying, nobody cared. I mean, you put her into Amazing Spider-Man, killed her off, and people were like, I don't care. I don't care. They even had to run with this whole fallen friend nonsense, and then they had this big funeral for her, where you literally had Peter Parker going up to her parents and telling them, your daughter was my hero. What the frick are you talking about? You're in your 30s. She's like 16. That's creepy. It was so freaking creepy and wrong. But they were just trying wholeheartedly to kiss Miss Marvel's ass like she's the greatest thing ever. And she had literally never done anything to make anybody interested. I mean, she failed. Literally, Miss Marvel has failed everywhere. She's failed in comics. Her live-action Ms. Marvel TV series was an absolute and utter embarrassment. Like I said before, I watched 2 episodes, I was out. And when I told people this is terrible, it's not making sense, a lot of people came down on me and were like, oh, you leave too soon. What do you think? It's really good. And then the very people who were criticizing me, I had to turn around and say, well, yeah, you know, it's not really good at all. So she failed in comics, failed on a TV series. Her so-called debut in the Marvels movie. The Marvels is not the lowest rated MCU movie ever. They even did that Avengers video game, which was nothing more than a bait and switch, where it was all about her. That failed, and also Miss Marvel has failed across the board. But for some reason, they believe that everybody would have been happy for Miss Marvel. Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. Let's get to it with right. Okay. The entire story, Marvel Comics writer Cody Ziglar has revealed that the decision to ham-fistedly kill off Kamala Khan in the current volume of Amazing Spider-Man was made at the specific request of MCU boss Kevin Feige, who at the time was reportedly hoping to foster synergy between the heroine's comic book and live-action incarnations. Yeah, because, you know, it's no longer the MCU following the comics. No, now the comics has to follow whatever nonsense they make up in the MCU. That's what they want. And this is the fallen friend. Did they have the Fantastic Four here looking down? Mary Jane hugging up Paul. You have Norman Osborn, Gold Goblin there. You have Peter Parker holding shit. Like, this is supposed to make some people feel bad about it. I mean, they had people screeching online, but, oh, you killed off the first Muslim superhero. Like, hey, you all forgot about Dusk. She's been around for years. But no, because they keep pushing Kamala Khan, as you know, people just forget these things. After appearing in just 14 pages of author Zeb Wells' then 646-page long run on the Wall Crawler's core title, in case one was wondering just how abrupt and poorly thought out this development truly was, the young Miss Marvel met her end in Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, number 26. This is what they put out there, but at what cost is it? You know, what's going to happen? Going to be the most shocking issue of Amazing Spider-Man in 50 years. Nobody was shocked. Nobody. Therein, after Mary Jane finds herself the target of the emissary, look, I'm going to go through the bottom line of it is, same whack job wherever universe Mary Jane and Paul was in, this weirdo who has some tattoos on and all kind of thing, wanted to kill Mary Jane. Kamala Khan pretended to be her and got stabbed in the chest, it happened in the air, and that was it. Unsurprisingly, between the abruptness of her death and the aforementioned fact that Kamala had barely even appeared in Amazing Spider-Man before she met her end within its pages, this development was met with widespread rejection from the title's readers, many of whom took this move as yet another proof that Wells had no business writing the Wall Crawler. But from what Zeb Wells has been doing, I would have to second that. However, it now appears that the fan vitriol leveled towards Wells over this story may have been misplaced, as according to his fellow Amazing Spider-Man writer Cody Ziglar, it was not Wells who wanted to kill off Kamala, but rather Marvel Cinematic Universe boss and current Marvel Comics Chief Creative Officer Kevin Feige. But let's be clear, there still remains no forgiveness for his own terrible creative choices on the book, including yet again breaking up of Peter and Mary Jane and completely bastardizing Ben Reilly's character. You basically turned Ben Reilly into like Venom. You know, even giving the same motivation, it made no sense. And then the whole Peter and Mary Jane thing, I don't know. Like I said before, I say again, the only way they could fix that is if it turns out that, you know, the Mary Jane that is there isn't the real Mary Jane, and that's some kind of clone or something that Paul created to love him because the real Mary Jane wouldn't love him, so he locked her up somewhere, and that's what we got. That's about the only thing they could do to really fix that. Reflecting on his stint writing the Webhead's main book during an April 15th appearance on the Amazing Spider Talk podcast, and he talked about how, you know, what happened and stuff, and talk about how the fastest way to create 50,000 enemies is to be the lead writer of Amazing Spider-Man. If you just write it good, nobody wouldn't care. That's all. Write it good, people wouldn't have a problem. His attentions turned to his successor's work on the title. Ziglar then recalled to show Gavuzden, I hope I pronounced that correctly, it was funny watching when the whole Kamala stuff was going down, and like, he had told me months before what the plan was, which was Kevin Feige was like, hey, I don't do this very often, but can you please just like do this to make things in line with the MCU, because we have some stuff we want to do with Kamala. Per the live-action Ms. Marvel series and her subsequent comic book adventures, the plans Feige and Marvel held for Kamala's character would eventually see her first revealed as the MCU's debut mutant before later being retconned into a full-blown mutant in the comics. Yeah, now, let me just say this before I continue on it. Marvel Comics is already denying that Kevin Feige had anything to do with this. They're saying that, you know, no, that was never the thing. He didn't have any, all kind of stuff. Why I would believe this? Why I would believe it is because it makes sense with what you see. You see iterations in Marvel Comics where they try to change things to fit the MCU. This is why that whole female Silver Surfer thing is so annoyingly wrong to everybody. Yeah, because people don't want to come and say, oh, it's gonna be in a different universe. And people are thinking, no, I don't remember. As I said, they want to make the MCU the main Marvel universe. And what they want to do is, if they introduce a female Silver Surfer in the MCU, then try and shoehorn it into Marvel Comics and act like, it's always been that way. And it makes no sense. That's what we know. It makes no sense, but this is what they're trying to do. So they changed, in the MCU, they basically come out and said, Kamala and I think Namor are the first mutants in the MCU. But let's stick with Kamala Khan for now. The first mutant in the MCU. So they need to change that now in the comics to fit that. And they basically go out and say, listen, let's change her into a mutant, even though she's supposed to be an inhuman. But no, I believe she's some kind of mutant, inhuman hybrid, some kind of nonsense like that nobody cares about, but that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, this is where she was reborn here, because X-Men was bringing people back left, right, and center. So Wells is like, F it, I'm the guy who drew the short straw. People are going to be very mad that I have to kill Miss Marvel. Nobody was really mad. People didn't care. The only people who were making noise about it was the ones who were out there saying that, oh, you killed off the first Muslim mutant in there. And we were like, no, that's not accurate. When you want to need something to whine about, that's not what it was about at all. So this is how Cody Ziglar continued to say, I felt bad for him because people didn't know that she's gonna die. It's comic books, she's gonna be back, of course, but when she dies and comes back to Ms. Marvel, her MCU actress Iman Vellani is going to be writing. What a poor choice that was. Closing out this anecdote, Ziglar playfully said, I was like, yeah, that sucks for you. I'm glad I don't have to do that. But it was funny, and it was funny watching him get savage online, knowing that he's sort of the guy that had to answer the call of Daddy Feige to make this sacrifice. At current, Wells' run on Amazing Spider-Man remains ongoing, but trust me, people, trust me on this. And I say it is not worth checking out even for lucrative purposes, because what Zeb Wells has been doing to the Peter Parker and Amazing Spider-Man is criminal. In way to put it, just criminal. So yeah, apparently it was Kevin Feige who gave the kill order for Kamala Khan. Personally, I just find it really amusing, but the fact of the matter is that nobody cared that Kamala Khan got iced, because nobody's interested in the character at all. Her books don't sell. Her reputation is non-existent. And as a character, people just don't like her. No matter what you try to do with her, people just don't like her. That's just the way it is. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.